Welcome to Distorted Realities. Here are your hosts, J Rock and Frank Walls.
What up? What up?
We're live after some brief technical difficulties.
Finally.
You know what they say, right? The haters are going to hate. They said the bad juju, but we just prevail.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Yes, yes. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Distorted Realities. My name is J Rock, followed by my co-host, Frank Walls.
Frank Walls here in the house. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, guys.
That's right. Hit like and subscribe if you like the video. We are having a fun-filled set today. We're going to go over some paranormal, some supernatural, some weird and creepy information that we've just gathered. So kind of the basis of the program is for us to gather this information, put it out there, share your thoughts. All right. We do have a chat going along inside of YouTube. So feel free to join in and check it out and provide comments, feedback, suggestions, anything you would like. We also changed the format a bit. So going forward, we're going to cut it out into segments. So I think they're going to like this.
They're going to love it. I know. I'm 100% sure.
So how was your week?
Week was very interesting, doing some research here and there to bring to the public what they want to hear and see.
Oh, that's great. Well,
what about yours?
Mine was fun-filled. I had a rotator cuff surgery. My wife just came back from Greece and Rome.
Nice.
She was out there on an adventure. She actually got me some really cool statues. Why don't we show them?
Let me see. Oh, nice. Look. What a beauty.
Yeah, that's the Greek Spartan helmet.
Nice.
Of course, she bought that because I remind her of it. So, and that's a statue of me. No, that's Leonidas. But yeah, so it was a wonderful trip, and I'm glad she was able to participate and see the world. Right? I think it's important because there's a lot of things happening in the world, and the one thing that you could never fail at being awed or inspired by is seeing other cultures, seeing other environments.
Very nice.
Right? So kudos to her.
Very good experience. I wish I can go there one day.
Why not wish? We can always do it.
Yeah.
It's possible. But with that being said, and moving forward, we're going to start off with the first segment, right?
Yep.
And what better segment to start with than with cryptids? So let's go ahead and get the show on the road. All right, folks. So here we are.
Perfect.
In the first segment we're going to go over in the cryptid piece is the chupacabra or the goat sucker. So what do you know about this?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think being a Puerto Rican, and living in Puerto Rico, our chupacabra was like an icon in the early, I will say, like 90s, early 2000s. The chupacabra was like everybody was talking about it. There was even a mayor from the town of Canóvanas, Puerto Rico, that started like a team of men to hunt for the chupacabra.
So what was this chupacabra doing essentially? Was it just roaming around and scaring people?
No,
or?
Actually, he was killing animals left and right, like cattle, pigs, ducks, everything.
So what makes it so unique?
Well, apparently all the animals were found dead with two holes in their neck, and there was no blood on the animals.
So they were blood dry.
Blood dry.
Okay. So there's also two variants of this, right?
Yeah.
There's the variant that we just discussed, which is the one that looks alien-like in nature.
Yeah. The Puerto Rican one looks alien, and the Mexican one, or United States too, it's more like a dog. But ours is better. It's a better version.
Oh, you think so? So these sightings were very prevalent in the mid 90s, early 2000s, and it kind of just fizzled out, right? So I guess, is this something that's still continuing, or is it something that's just now considered a myth?
I think people still report. It's not like that common like before, but there's still being reports about it.
Okay. So my take on it is very different. This is almost fever pitch, right? People, start talking about it. There's a sighting, and then you have other individuals who just join in on the fun, right? Like, oh, I saw one too, and it's kind of like a gimmick, right? That
Yeah.
people pull off to make it trend. Is what we use today's term is trendy, right? So, I lean more towards an animal versus an alien in this specific case. However, it wouldn't be likely that there is a species we don't know about that can do this, right?
Could be,
So
could be.
there are tons of animals in the world that we still have yet to discover, and I just think there's nothing that has indicated that an alien like chupacabra has existed.
The thing is, at least in the Puerto Rican case, people saw them like I don't know if they have like pictures per se, but everybody describe it the same way, like big eyes, kind of like a round head, like some people seeing with wings, other people seeing like just walking in two legs or weird.
Interesting. So let's move forward. Let's look at the Ogo Pogo.
Ogo Pogo. Yep.
So the Ogo Pogo is like the Canadian version of the Loch Ness Monster,
Exactly.
right? I don't feel too convinced that it is exactly like the Loch Ness Monster, because the way they describe it, it's serpentine in nature. It's found in a specific lake,
Lake.
and it's almost like it doesn't really necessarily exist, right? It's more like Native American or Native folklore for that area. I believe it's in Okanagan Lake.
Oh, Okanagan, yeah, Okanagan Lake.
Yeah, and that's in British Columbia by Canada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Canada.
so those who've documented seeing it, what's to say it's
Well, according to the natives, right, they used to say that was the spirit of the lake. Like the Ogopogo was the spirit of the lake, and they will bring a tribute to before they crossing the lake from one side to the other. They will bring like a reverence to the Ogopogo before they will cross the lake. That way the waters of the lake will stay calm, and they were able to cross it. And there's a story about a chief from the tribe that didn't comply with the offerings to the spirit of the lake, and they almost drowned because the water started getting very agitated and very bad. So,
right. Okay, so I mean, what is it? What if it's something like an ancient snake? When I say ancient snake, I'm talking about like fossil, prehistoric era. Because you ever heard of the Titan boa? Mm-hmm. Right, it's like the biggest snake in existence versus a serpent. That seems more probable.
yeah.
With that being said, I don't.
Or anaconda. Remember that movie
Yeah.
Anaconda, that big snake?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some truth to it. There's some meat behind it. Is it a giant sea serpent? Who
Could be,
knows?
could
right?
be.
But that would be interesting, right? Because if you think about it, you read all these ancient texts, right? And some of the mythology books that you grew up in school reading. There's always some kind of serpentine type water dwelling creature. And we go back and we've spoken about Leviathan. And all these,
Leviathan.
right? But it's almost like every continent has their own aquatic mythological creature that does something. But in this case, this one seems a little more friendly because there's never been any disturbances or
Yeah.
anything.
Nobody have been eaten by the Ogopogo as long as we
Right,
know,
right,
and so far it's like it's very commercial. I heard in the town of they sell you mugs, T-shirts, everything about the Ogopogo.
Yeah, they do the same thing with Nessie, though.
Yeah.
So it's. I think again, it goes back to capitalizing on the
Yeah.
idea that hey, look, we got a mascot.
Mascot, yeah.
so it's one of those things where you just look at it, you go, yeah, you know what?
The Ogopogo mascot.
There you go. And they actually have a song.
Oh yeah,
They have a song. I heard it on Wikipedia. It's hilarious. So for those of you watching, go to Wikipedia, look up at Ogo Pogo, and there's actually a song that they made just for this specific creature. It's a little interesting. It's more childlike in sound, but it's fun to listen to, right? Yeah. So Ogo Pogo, we got to put the nail on the coffin in that one. So when we run into the next aquatic creature, hopefully it's not serpentine in nature, because then we know that that's just another.
There's a trend. Serpentine trend.
So moving on, we're gonna look at one of the more common and creepy ones,
Yeah.
the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, this one is
Mother
this one-
Leeds.
this
That's
one
what they
is-
call it. Mother Leeds and her 13 kids.
This is supposedly she had a son and she gave that son to the devil pretty much. Like she offered it to the devil.
You know, I think this deserves like a better intro. So let me just do
Yeah.
something real quick.
Mother Leeds and the 13 children living in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Watch out when you're out there.
If you hear like a hissing sound, that could be the Jersey Devil.
So let's give a little background behind the Jersey Devil. So apparently there was a family that lived in the Pine Barrens in South Jersey, and basically she had 13 kids, and the 13th one she, I guess, really didn't want it. And kind of cursed herself.
Yeah.
And had this child that is an amalgamation of all weird animals. The funny part is that this was cited in newspapers in New York, New Jersey, in the upper East Coast region for quite some times in the early 1900s.
There was a lot of sightings of this creature, and this one I think sounds more real than the Ogo Pogo, and scary too.
Well, I mean,
Supposedly
Well-
he killed some people too.
well, let's see. It has the body of a horse, cloven hooves, right? It has some wings to boot. You know, the only horse that I knew that could fly was called Pegasus.
Pegasus, yeah.
Right, so this is like a distorted form of Pegasus, right? With a really dark story behind it. I've been to the Pine Barrens.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah, I've been there, and I call it a no-fly zone and a no-go zone. You stay put.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, right? It's a beautiful forest. Like, it's very open and vast. But I feel that those are the kind of places you try to stay away from, especially when the sun is setting.
Okay, it's
Right,
creepy. It's like a creepy place.
I mean, you can probably call anything the Jersey Devil once it's sundown out there.
You can feel the energy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So Mother Leeds, right? So I wonder. I guess for me, what I'm wondering is, you know, is there any real documented proof that a family called the Leeds family had 13 kids and one of them was, you know, because this could be like a story of, you know, one child was born with a very severe
Yeah, and for disease or
disease or deformation of some type, and you know, in those eras they ridiculed individuals who had deformities, right?
true.
It's like leprosy, right? So leprosy was a big thing, and they would call people lepers, and based on their appearance they would treat them a different way. So in my mind, I'm putting that into context and saying maybe that's what one of those cases were. But for a child to be born like an animal, you know,
Could be. I mean, there's a lot of diseases out there, and like you said before, people they used to they say you have like a big spot or something that will call you like a witchcraft or whatever.
right. So yeah, it's very interesting. In some cases, I feel like if it's a true instance or a true story that somebody can actually prove out there, I think it would make for a very great case. Yeah. So, pardon me. With that being said, I got a special grade situation here. Like,
What?
we found a cryptid like we've never found before, and I think it's worth talking about.
Oh, that's very
All right.
dangerous.
Yeah, no,
I
this
heard
is
it's
one of the
very
most
dangerous.
dangerous ones, and I think we should take a look at this. The Diddy Cabra.
Diddy Cabra. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Diddy Cabra. So it's the difference is this one sucks the soul out of people.
So
Yeah. So essentially, he has this aphrodisiac that invites men to go out shopping, right?
Especially men.
Yeah. He hosts lavish parties and lures them into these events, and
wow.
Yeah,
He like believers too. Believers.
and basically, you hear him say these.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's a little weird, but yeah. So you have to be on the lookout, especially for those of you who live in the city.
Be careful.
Be
Be
very
careful.
careful if you run into this individual.
Diddy Cabra.
He has the tendency to lure people in, and
That's
You
very
know,
dangerous.
and his moniker is "I thought I told you that we won't stop."
I heard there have been sights of him in Miami and California.
Yeah, yeah.
That creature.
I mean, that creature is it's
Yeah.
everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So, so yeah. So this ends our cryptid segment, and overall, we'll take notes on what you would like to hear us talk about, and we would like your feedback. So, with that being said, we're gonna go to the chat segment and see if anyone is on.
Be careful with the cabra, guys.
All right. So, yes, be very careful. And let's see who's on. Oh, it looks like no one is on the chat yet. Can you verify that?
Here.
Yeah. All right, we're just verifying and making sure that there's any comments or questions. Give us 1 second, please. Yes, Coral, thank you. Yeah, Diddy Cabra is a thing now, so be on the lookout.
Keith Dan just said that. So the PR chupacabra could have been just a vampire with animal preference. Could be. Could be. You never know.
Yes, yes, yes. What else we got?
We got Easy.
Hey, what's up, Izzy? Sneakers. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next segment. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
You ready?
This is
Because I
interesting.
think this one you can appreciate. We're gonna go now into the alien segment. So let's see what's out there. Let's see what's lurking beyond the constellation. All right, folks. So here we are, aliens. All right. So this one was a little bit difficult, right? So to give you a little backstory behind this is, there's a story about a gentleman who many years ago got a book from his father. I won't name the location because I think it's irrelevant at this point.
We don't want to get into controversy.
No, we don't. So, but he found the book from his father. His father was a war vet, and essentially that book contained a list of all the alien races that existed. And I found it rather interesting, right? Because when we look at the stars, we always ask ourselves, like, the real question, which is, what's out there? Are we the only species that exist, or is there something more? Right?
I don't think we're alone in this world. I don't think so.
So both of them are dangerous if you think about it, right?
Oh yeah.
In thought, right? But I found it interesting because this is like literally a documented book that contains a list of so many different alien species and their purpose and their intent. The last time they visited, and I mean they didn't come over here for coffee, but
I don't think so.
But
And by the way, the coffee here is really good. Okay,
Yes,
let me
yes,
tell you
yes.
that.
so
Great.
So with that being said, we kind of like got into the book and started researching these species. Some are very easy to spot and get details, and others are just very difficult. And these specific 3 were somewhat challenging. Some because there wasn't enough information, and other because they're vast, right? In terms of like the species has subspecies within itself, right? So let's start it off with the reptilians, right? And this is more of a description, by the way. Reptilians are considered a general species, right? Now, they come from different constellations. You have the Draconian, the Orion. So they come from different systems. And each race is pretty much pegged with their own set of features, intentions, and their own, I guess, purpose, right? Like, I don't know how to really describe it.
They always say they're like shapeshifter too.
Yeah, some aliens. So remember the movie or the TV show V.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a great show. Great show.
And the cool thing about this is that this is a very hot topic, right? There's a lot of controversy and conspiracy about political leaders and celebrities being reptilians and things of that nature.
They were saying that half of the politicians and the elites were reptiles.
Right.
You can see it in the eyes. There's some videos out there that they have their eyes changing, or they have a serpent eyes, stuff like that.
Yeah, so you see some videos around the interwebs, and it kind of depicts, a specific person's facial features just deforming, or their eyes flickering like a reptilian's does. So it's really, really weird.
It is weird. It is weird, and interesting as well, because imagine if it's true. Imagine if all the elites are a different race than human, and they're just trying to manipulate us and control us.
That's
scary.
That's actually a very scary idea.
It's very scary.
But it's no different than them being just humans with superpower and money, right?
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like what's going on today, right?
They steal, right?
So that's just kind of like the logic behind it. But all in all, this is an interesting topic only because of what's happening today and what the people are saying about it. Something to look at. So we found a different species, and we're going to show that now. It's called Killitorkut.
Wow. You know what? This is so weird, because I was researching and looking about this alien race, and it was really, really hard to find something about them.
So here's the funny part.
It's like they don't want to be found. They don't want to be.
So here's the description. So they come from the Vela cluster / Suhail cluster, which is about 20 million light years away from us. I mean, it's super far. However, they're a technological race. But what's the one key identifier?
Their eyes.
Their eyes and their shape-shifting capabilities.
I heard they can shape-shift, but their eyes will not change.
Yes.
They will remain the same.
Right. So this is a segue to the creepy stuff we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
But I think there's some common ground behind them. But their intentions are unknown, right? And it feels like the only way, well, not that it feels like, but apparently they can only shapeshift to things of equal size and dimensions. They cannot shapeshift to something bigger or something that's completely abstract. So it's a human being that can shapeshift into a human being. It can't shapeshift into a dog.
Gotcha.
Based on the description.
So it has to be like the same height, the same mass.
Right.
Same mass.
Right. So there was a little footnote I put in the bottom because this came from a book. And I just kept it there, but it kind of describes what they're experiencing with this specific alien race. But it's everything we described, and I just think it was an interesting footage.
We have a comment from Kate Dan. It says, "The Scooby-Doo movie prepared us for the reptilians all those years ago."
Yes, they did.
That's a good.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's look at the next one and the last one of the three, and it's also a reptilian species, right? So this is called the Algrok.
You think this could be like you think those could be reptilians, but like a smarter class of them?
So they were originally called the constructors.
The builders.
So based on the research in the book that was there online, their race is really designed for shipbuilding. And when we say ship, we're not talking about boats, right? We're talking about like spaceships.
I heard that Bob the Builder was one of them.
Yeah, he might have been.
Bob, do you remember?
He might have been. But their race, they're descended from a race that is now extinct.
Okay.
They don't know what that race is, but based on that, that's what the information provided. Their goal is to build these devices, but they really go to different constellations and different planets to look for raw materials to further develop their technologies.
Gotcha.
Right? Apparently, they can live up to 230 years.
That's a lot.
I wish I could be the same, but that's not going to With that being said, they were last seen in Tokyo, Japan in 2005. That was the
Wow.
last known sighting.
That's interesting. In Tokyo, right?
Yes. So what's interesting about this book is they actually say that for some species, they know when they will return. And I think that for the next episode, we should talk about like, okay, let's look at these species and see what.
There's any way to get that book?
Yes, there is. There is. So what I'll do is I'll get the link and the name of the book and I'll send it out and I'll just save it up on YouTube also so that if anyone's interested, they can watch it. Purchase
Because
it and read
that's
it.
very interesting. Because I want to know how they know all these different races and
Yeah, it is. It is very, very thought inducing, right? Like, who would have?
who traveled to or how they has that data.
Well, I mean, how we always talk about movies and how they're a reflection of something
Yeah.
that's real. Well, what was the movie that kind of represented that? Men in Black, right?
Yeah,
So Will Smith was doing what? He was
it was
exactly
fighting for us against all these alien races and all that.
right. So
Yeah.
it's just food for thought.
You never know, man. You never know.
So we got some videos. Some are more impressive than others. So let's just look at the Kelly Turok video. Now the sad part is that it's more visual. Like they spoke in a language that was unknown to me, but we got this from TikTok. So it's the only
Let's
thing
watch
we
it.
were able to find.
Yeah.
Esta raça vem da constelação Vela Velame, perto da estrela Soyuamulif. Podem atingir 2 metros de altura 6 e viver até 200 anos.
But they
Podem
look very
mudar de
ghosty,
forma
like that.
shapeshift e são incrivelmente difíceis de detectar. São uma das raças mais antigas conhecidas. São místicos científicos e também abduzem seres humanos para pesquisa. Os relatos são de avistamentos de seres com forma feminina.
A little more fantasy based, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it might not be accurate.
You see the eyes? That's the thing.
Yeah, that throws it off.
Yeah.
So now let's go on to the next video, which is the actual reptilian video. Let's close this out and go into.
This was originally a reptilian-dominated planet. There was a disaster on Mars. The humanoid forms took refuge on the
So
surface
they're
of
kind of
the Earth. And
describing
these guys
what?
have been at war against each other for a long time. The
Kind of like
reptilian
what happened
humanoids
to them
are
here.
Some kind of
Earth's natural
historical
evolution. They're physical in
piece about
form.
how
Some of
they
the more
were here
primitive
before
ones
humans.
live near the surface, and the
they're
other
subterranean.
more intelligent and larger population groups are underground. There's other reptilian humanoids that also seem to be coming from another dimension.
So moving on to the last video, it's the Algruk.
El siguiente escrito está basado en un supuesto archivo sobre razas extraterrestres. En este documento la URSS habría clasificado a las razas extraterrestres conocidas que visitaron nuestro planeta.
Let me get into the
En
species.
total el libro cataloga 58 razas extraterrestres. Desafortunadamente es imposible confirmar la autenticidad de este
What
material.
would you do?
Sin embargo, para los amantes de las buenas teorías de conspiración, es una información de mucho interés. A continuación te presentamos algunas de las razas extraterrestres citadas en el libro secreto ruso de razas alienígenas. Algruk, los constructores.
I think I would first be in awe.
Provienen de la constelación Escultor. Son descendientes de una raza reptiliana que se extinguió. Se especializan en la construcción de naves y otros dispositivos usados para los viajes en el espacio. Su promedio de vida es de 230 años. Se divisaron por última vez en la ciudad de Tokio, Japón, en el año 2005.
We just came all the way 20 million light years to be friends.
Yeah.
There's always some kind of intention. And what better than the human species to know that, because what do? We conquer.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what we've been doing all along, all these years. Conquering other places, the inferior race or whatever.
Yeah. So I want to just segue and go back, right? Because we do have videos also of the cryptids
Oh,
that we
really?
didn't get to show. And
Nice.
I think some of them are AI generated, and I thought they were pretty cool.
Gotcha.
So why don't we go back?
You got another of the Lily Cabo?
No, I couldn't get a video of that. that was a little bit tough to achieve, and I wasn't going to the party.
No, don't go there.
All right, so let's go. The first one is Chupacabra Video 1, right? This is, I don't think this is real at all. I think this is a very well executed 3D rendition. But this is what it would look like in Puerto Rico, I guess.
Definitely that's the Puerto Rican Chupacabra. You know, the folklore right there.
So that's the first video. And then the second video goes into the explanation
And this
of the second
is the
version
real
of the
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
The
which-
Mexican
Which-
version.
mysteriously
Yeah.
ended up dead.
The American.
So
Some
basically,
people believed it was a snake,
they're
a type of
going
bat,
into
a
this
satanic
with
cult,
the
but all of them
idea
got
that
disproven. The only thing people hadn't
there's
been able to
a
disprove
dog
is that it was
that-
the Chupacabra,
or a species of
basically a
dog or
vampire.
canine
With tons
or
of sightings
even
all
coyote
around the world, a lot
that
of people
perhaps
believe. So I'm going to go
has
to the
a
most
special set of
popular
teeth that
sightings to
just
find these
brings
people who apparently
blood.
actually
Now,
have the Chupacabra.
That doesn't
Enough
convince me.
evidence to
No,
prove
it
that
doesn't
the
convince me
Chupacabra
either.
could actually Right now, we're right in front of
I
Mexico,
think
where
that-
most people think that Chupacabra comes from.
that it
But
looks
the
like a
Chupacabra
dog
actually
who has
comes
really
from a
bad
small town
mange
in Puerto
and
Rico.
loses
So
its
in like the
hair.
1980s,
You know what I
the
mean?
town
You ever
had
seen
a
those
bunch
skin
of animals
disorder
just
on
start
dogs?
randomly
You know,
dying.
there
The most common
even
animal was goats.
reports and
Chupacabra means
actual
goat sucker. And they
footage
would have,
of
like,
bears having the
giant
same
teeth marks
kind
on
of
them
symptoms.
with all the blood.
I've seen coyotes too.
Vampire
Right.
dogs.
So
Like
No
losing
animal
hair.
does that.
Like,
So
And
I don't
eventually,
think
some people in the
for
town
one second
started
that that's
seeing a
the-
dog-like creature. It was
the
like
genuine
grayish,
article.
kind of scaly.
Yeah, I don't think
Sometimes
so.
people said it had
I
glowing
think
red
the
eyes. Sometimes
Chupacabra,
people even said it had wings.
the Puerto Rican
sightings
version
kinda
is way
stopped in
better
Puerto Rico,
than
and then
the
they started
Chupacabra.
a lot in Mexico.
So why
and
is
a
it? It's
ton
just- is it
in
just the,
Texas. There's even this
the
lady
dynamics?
in this town that's
Just wanna
like
show you
6
something.
hours
This
away
guy
from
right
me
here.
that we're gonna go to, who
He passed
apparently
away
has
though.
a
That's the
Chupacabra
mayor right
in
there.
her freezer.
But
The
before
mayor
we
of
get to that,
Canóvanas,
there are
you
four
know.
main sightings that
He
basically
started.
make up the
That
entire
team
history of the
was the
Chupacabra
one that
I'm
was
gonna
hunting
investigate. First we
the Chupacabra. So for that to happen, that means that they either saw something. I don't know. They used to mock him. They used to call him Chemo Jones, like Indiana Jones.
Oh wow,
Because-
Chemo Jones.
Chemo Jones. Yeah. But hey, he was doing great. I mean, I don't know if it was a political stunt or what, but
But it worked.
and supposedly
If it was a stunt, it worked because I mean that was all the rave.
they were trying to catch him though.
I mean, I was hoping that was in New York at the time, you know, but it was just a rap.
I grew up with the Chupacabra. That's like, it's very, very deep in my heart. Chupacabra, wherever you are, hi, my friend.
So let's look at the Yogo Pogo video now. Bear in mind, this one is a little more like discussion piece. I wasn't too.
Did you know that the
moved
creature
by
that lives
it.
in Okanagan
I
Lake
was
is
more
not
impressed by
actually
the
named
statue
Ogopogo,
behind the guy.
and that it's
Yeah.
But
protected
he's
under
actually
BC's
giving a
Endangered
good
Species Act?
explanation about the Yogo Pogo.
It's true.
It's
Jordan
really not
Coble
cool.
from the West Bank First Nation told me all about it.
has a native
Nahahaet is how it's pronounced, or sort of how it's pronounced. I'm doing my best here. And the story of it, the spirit, has been in their nation for generations.
Nahatiki, the spirit
They
of
say
the
that
lake,
it's been
that's why they used to
demonized
call
by
him.
settler society
so
and made
he's
into a
giving an
monster.
explanation
The name
about it.
Ogopogo just popped up in a folk song in the 1920s and it's stuck. In the 1980s, somebody put $1 million bounty on the creature. If you caught it, they said they would give you $1 million. So the Ministry of Environment decided to put it on the BC Endangered Species Act. So it's listed as an invertebrate over 3 meters long that's not a sturgeon. The West Bank First Nation stresses that we're not supposed to be afraid of it. We're supposed to respect it and give back to it so that it'll be around for future generations.
It's about a
Kind of like
minute long,
the spirit of sustainability. And now you know.
And the last one, which I think is arguably one of the cooler ones, is the Jersey Devil one. So this is completely made in AI, but it's freaky, right? Because the way it depicts it, right?
That's very scary. That's very scary.
I thought it was amazing, right? It makes me want to believe that something like that exists just for fanfare, right? Like, oh man, that thing must be, you know.
Could be.
It's very creepy.
Could be the New Jersey Chupacabra.
Yeah. So let's take a look.
Experiment number 22, Jersey Devil. This humanoid devilish creature was created for a secret agency based in New Jersey. It has a leather-like skin, sharp claws and a sleek elongated body. The Jersey Devil's primary diet consists strictly of small children that get lost around the Pine Barrens woods in southern New Jersey. It will lure unexpected hikers by emitting an extremely sweet-smelling aroma out of its porous skin, making anyone smelling this aroma instantly enter a trance-like catatonic state. Do not enter South Jersey if you want to stay alive.
So yeah, so those are the videos for the cryptid section, and let's segue into just brief discussion, right? And see if there's anybody on the chat that wants to make any comments.
Oh, we got a comment here for Corrales. It says that the language they were speaking was Brazilian or Portuguese. That's one of the videos.
That's right. Oh, it'd be nice if one of your friends, Coral, or you can decipher what was being said, because it was very interesting. And I'm assuming you're talking about the Kelly Torkut video, because that's the only one that was in a different language outside of that.
Easy there says sneakers. I don't know.
Yes, yes, sneakers. What else we have?
Oh, Kid Dan says, do you guys think all these aliens are smarter than us, or are some of them just stuck here? Yeah, it could be.
Wait, let's talk about that.
Could be.
So, sometimes intention has nothing to do with smarts. Humans, before they became highly evolved, they were what? They were cavemen.
Yeah.
They just knew how to survive. That doesn't require a lot of intelligence in terms of hunting, right? Mm-hmm. You grab a stick and you poke an animal and you eat it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you develop tactics, and from there you develop the intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's if an alien species is brought into a different planet to destroy, for example, I'm a smarter race, and I have this subset of species that are lesser than me. I can send them there to do my bidding, and then that's it, right? The issue becomes that if you look at it from a bigger picture, any species that can adapt and destroy is technically way smarter than you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you think about it from that perspective. Now, when we associate intelligence with intellect and logical reasoning, sometimes you got to throw logic out the window and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna eat everything in my way, or I'm gonna harvest every resource in my way. It doesn't matter, how intelligent you are. Yeah.
I think if they cross the universe to come here, definitely doesn't mean they're smarter. That it means that they develop a technology, because developing something doesn't make you smarter. You know what I mean?
No. So here's the funny part. If you look at it from the mindset that look at everything us as a human species achieved, right? In a span of 120, 30 years.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that comes from a different, has to be way more advanced. That means they had the time and the leeway to develop and mature into whatever they're supposed to become. So, we're talking about traveling at the speed of light. Now we know that with science, traveling at the speed of light would turn you into spaghetti mush, right? Like there's no way our bodies can handle that. And you could tell when you get on a roller coaster, right? And you're dropping, you can feel those G-forces. And everything wants to come up and your body kind of compresses. When we were talking about diving, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you explain what happens to your body when you're diving?
Or when you dive, every 30 feet is an ATA, it's an atmosphere. So every 30 feet you feel the weight of the earth in top of you, like the double, right? So at 30 feet it's double the weight of the earth. At 60 it's triple, right?
Right.
And while you keep going down, 30 feet, like 100 feet, I went once in my life, I dive 100 feet. And I was able to see kind of like my bones in my hands, like the shape of my bones, because of the pressure. So imagine going at a speed of light in space,
So that's what I mean. Like it's just sometimes science makes room for you to accept that fact.
Exactly.
Right? That it's very impossible for us to achieve it unless we know a science that can counteract those effects. Right? And if a species has those capabilities,
It's like when you go in a jet, Mach 3, Mach 1,
right?
A lot of pilots pass out or stuff like that. They need to train their body in order to do that. So,
right. So, Yeah. Any other questions on the chat?
Let me see what we got here. We got that's it for now. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the paranormal.
This is spooky, guys. The spooky times, spooky days, spooky moment.
Right. So let's go. Let's get to it. So in our paranormal reviews, right? What do? We just watch videos and see if it's real or not. I don't get into the whole science of it all. I'm pretty sure most of you had experienced something in your life that you can't explain. And that's the term for paranormal. Right? It is not normal.
Not abnormal. It should be called abnormal, right?
Right. So I found 4 ghost videos. And basically what I want to do is just, let's take a look at it. Let's see if it's possible that it's real or not. And let's see what the people have to say about it. All right, so let's go on with the first video.
In this scary video, a couple of kids are playing and having fun until this shocking event happens. Watch this.
Look at the girl in the corner. And just like that, she got elevated. It looks like she's being choked.
Yeah, that's scary.
Wow.
That's very scary.
Now, what would you make of it? I got to see that again.
In this scary video, a couple of kids are playing and having fun until this shocking event happens. Watch this.
The sad part is that everybody else ran away and just let her to choke. You know.
That's definitely not her friends.
Yeah, definitely not. If it's their sister,
No
shame
good
on
friends,
you.
yeah.
Shame on you if you're the sister. You should have at least tried to pull her away for something.
That's bad.
Right?
That's very bad.
Yep. So let's see the second one. The second one. Oh, this is very interesting. I saw this one. There's a girl on a roller coaster with the fire.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So let's replay that one more time.
But even the face, my God, what a holy face! It looked like one of those.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's scary.
That's creepy.
It could be somebody that died in that roller coaster. You never know.
You know, it's funny because I'm thinking to myself, how many accidents don't get reported or are known about?
I have heard from a lot of these big parks. I don't want to say names here, but I heard in these parks there always something happening, and there been like deaths and stuff like that, and they don't report it or to the news or whatever. That way, they don't get
So
bad
I'll
publicity.
do you one better because we're talking about theme parks. But do you know that state parks do not report it?
I heard there's a lot of people going missing in state parks.
So there's a guy who wrote a book called Missing 411. And basically, he goes into this thing where he collects data about people that were missing or missing and found under crazy circumstances.
Wow.
Right? So it's one of those weird situations that's some correlation, right? But theme parks, they have some sad history, right? And it'd be good to just explore that a bit.
There's a lot of, even here where we are right now, have you seen those conservation areas?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. And there was a guy that used to sell like hot dogs in a corner.
Right.
And I asked him like, hey, have you ever been there to the conservation area? He was like, oh, I heard there's a big bear over there. And I was like, I'm not going.
Yeah, I mean, we can rule it out, right? And leave it to some kind of animal. But some things defy logic, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's move on to video number 3. So look at the lady sitting in the car. One more time, let's play it. And just like that, boom. Did you see it? pulled from the car all the way to the
Oh my God, that's weird. That's weird, right there.
So here's another one. He's in the garage. Gets pulled.
How you explain that?
That's the thing. It could be like a clear wire, perhaps, you know, or it could be a wire, perhaps, or something. You know, if it's a hoax, you know, like, you know how in the old kung fu movies you see like the flying Chinese men, right? And they had these wires hanging across from them. Like you couldn't see the wire, right? It could be a wire act, but
but those movies sometimes you were like,
that looks way too natural. Way too natural.
Way too real.
So yeah, so let's look at the last one. I think this one is the most important one, because I think it's the most haunting one. Let's take a look. He's in bed. You see it? One more time. Freaky paranormal stuff.
If I see something like that, let me tell you, I'll run until I get tired.
If you had to confront a paranormal or the Diddy Cabra, which one would you choose?
I'll go with the paranormal. I heard Diddy Cabra's worse.
Gotcha. So that's it for our paranormal videos for this week. So why don't we see if anybody in the comments has anything they want to talk about with regards to paranormal?
Kid Dan says they left her to die. Yeah, that was the video of
the little girl.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was really, really horrible.
It was. Very, very bad.
So now we're going to go into our main segment, right? This is where we pick a topic and we're really going to talk about it. I think it's super important that some things that we try to discover don't have explanations. There's not really anything out there outside of just stories, right? But I think Kelly Court kind of like opened up my eyes, right? Because I was like, wait, this doesn't necessarily have to be some kind of, you know, ghost apparition. It could be something alien in nature, right?
Could be.
So for our segment, we have two pieces. One is just the video where I just found it super creepy, right? And it's something that I never thought I would see and feel some type of way. And I think when we saw it, you know, on a review, we were both in shock, right?
We were, yeah.
But with that being said, let's look at our creepy segment.
Creepy comforts.
So there you go. Black-eyed children. Do not let them in. Do not let them in at all.
I heard they knock to your door.
So the story started in the 80s, believe it or not. So it's not that old in comparison to the other myths and urban legends and things of that nature. So apparently there's these kids that show up during really weird times, right? When I say weird, you know, you don't see a kid in the middle of the night knocking on your door, right? So these kids are usually hooded or dressed in a way where they're concealed a lot of their features, but they knock on the door, and the reports say that when they see these kids, their eyes are completely black, right? So there are reports. One of them was actually vehicular. So in other words, they were in a car, and the person went in, locked his door. He was starting his car, and a kid knocked on the car glass. The kid was like, "Can you let me in?" Now, you know, there's an old saying in vampire culture, right? It's like you have the power of sire. Like you can control things, right?
You cannot let them in,
right? So
like when Dracula will go to your house, they will knock, and you say, "Can I come in?" If you let it come in,
So,
You're
so
done.
nothing is creepier than thinking about a child that can potentially do harm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because as human beings, we always grew up that they're innocent,
They're
they're to
innocent.
be cared for and loved. And this is the total opposite of that, right?
Completely opposite, completely.
So a kid will knock on your door, right? And they'll ding, ding.
Can you let me in, please? Is that in? It's cold outside.
Let me in.
It's freezing. Let me in, please.
Imagine that.
So you can imagine that. And then you open the door, then you say,
I got you. Your soul is mine.
right? So you could imagine this scenario, right? And the sad part is nobody knows what's happening, right?
Nobody.
Like, what happens if you let the kid in? You know?
I will not let in nobody, especially if it's late at night. And if it's a little kid, I will call the cops.
So this is like top tier creepy, right?
It is.
Because you don't know what's gonna happen. And yeah, we're being playful about it, but I just the pictures alone, you know,
It's very scary.
whether they're photoshopped or not, it doesn't matter. It's a creepy thought, you know, especially when you're home alone, right? And again, you hear the doorbell.
Excuse me, miss. Can you let me in? I need to use the bathroom.
No, it's 12 o'clock midnight. Please, I'm gonna pee myself.
Go to the woods. Go.
Right. And the funny part is, the kids have this ability to try to convince people, right, to go in, and people get tempted. So the sad part is, those who don't let them in, and they're like 100% sure they're not gonna come in, the kids disappear like instantly.
You know, something like that happened to my mom. She told me a story when, where's the camera? Let me see that camera right there. Where is it?
It's right here.
There was a story that she told me that where she used to live, there was like a pond, right? And supposedly a girl drowned over there, right? And her name was Mary. And she was by herself, alone in the home, and somebody knocked at the door. And when she opened it, there was nobody. Then she closed it. They knock again. And when she opened, there was this little girl. And she asked her for water, right? And when she went to get the water, the kid disappeared. It was not there. The next day, the same thing happened. So what she did, she prepared the cup with water already on the table. That way, when the girls come, she don't have to like go and disappear again. So the next day, they knock at the door. It's the little girl, and she asks for water again. And, you know, all this time, she thought it was the girl that drowned in the pond, right? So the girl asked for the water. She's like, "Oh, I got the water right here on the table. Can you come in? You can grab it from here." And when the girl grabbed the water, started drinking it. When she finished drinking the water, my mom asked the little girl, like, "Is your name Mary?" And the girl says like, "No!"
Oh man, that's
That was a joke.
oh man. Let's see. So yeah, you hear stories like that all the time, right? So it's amazing though that these stories that involve kids always have a tendency to really creep people out, right? But yeah, black-eyed children, I think it's gonna be one that's gonna stick with me.
Yeah, that's
And
creepy.
every time it's 12 o'clock and I'm lying down and I hear a door knocking and I check that door and hear this,
Can I use your bathroom?
my answer is a definite no. It's a definite no.
Don't even open that door, man.
Yes. So we got a video that's kind of like an explainer type video about the black-eyed children. It's very hard to find any videos on this, right?
Oh, before you go to the video, we have a comment here from Corrali. It says, "Are they ghosts or demons?"
They're aliens. So here's the thing. Kelly Torkut, right, has similar features. They're shapeshifters. They have the ability to control and manipulate things, and they have black eyes.
Black eyes, yeah.
Right? So who's to say that they're not that species, right?
Exactly. According to that species of alien, when they transform, they cannot change their eye color. So that's why we have we cannot associate one thing with another.
Right.
Because it could be, you know.
I don't think this is paranormal, though. Yeah. I think this is more leaning towards the aliens, right? So in my mind, you know, I can see an alien species that has shape-shifting capabilities, you know, that might need something in general, right? Now, what would that species needs if you got to get in, right?
Yeah.
Does it want to spread its biological fluids all over you so that you can reproduce or something? You know, like all these thoughts come to mind, right?
Yeah, anything is possible.
You know, it's like a parasite type thing, right? Or mind control type thing, because they do have that capability, right?
Yeah.
So just remember,
telepathic.
So yeah, Coral.
Can I come in your house?
Don't go there. Don't open that door.
Don't open it.
You know, don't let them in. All right. So let's watch the video.
Gotcha.
You have something else? All right.
If you see black-eyed children, don't go near them because something horrible could happen. According to legend, black-eyed children will come to you at your car window if you're alone in the parking lot, or in places where there aren't many people. When they appear, they often say that they need help with something and that you must let them in. They have to come in, whether it's your car or your house. Anyone who has encountered them has almost immediately felt a sense of dread. But as the mystery of these eerie children deepens, if you don't let them in, they insist more and more on being let in. The children have pale skin and black eyes. But apart from those black eyes, they look normal. Rumors suggest that those who have encountered them and survived have witnessed strange phenomena afterward, further shrouding the origins of these chilling apparitions. Some suggest that these children have been around since the 80s, although most sources claim that the legend was born around 1996. But remember...
All right, so that's it for the black-eyed children. So this next video, I slept thinking about it. I didn't sleep too well, right? Because I've never seen anything like this. It just really threw me off.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah. Again, it's sticking to the theme of evil children or possession or demonic type things, or even extraterrestrial nature that's deemed considered evil, right? I think that this one took the cake. And you know how we did I Feel Fantastic, right? It was just like really odd and perplexing and disturbing for some reason. This one didn't feel like that, but it felt like, wow. Like if this is real,
we're screwed.
Oh, forget it. Yeah. So let's take a look at this video, and I would really like some feedback from the people, and just tell me what your thoughts on it is.
Feel free to hit like, subscribe, and comment in the chat, guys. He's definitely hungry.
क्या चीज है वहाँ पे दोस्तों यहाँ पर ना कुछ अजीब सी चीज दिखी है यहाँ पे यार भाई पता नहीं उसका दांत दिखे तूने दोस्तों हम जा रहे हैं यहाँ पे आगे और भाई पास जाके देखते हैं कि यहाँ पे क्या है भाई मैं हमारे तो रोंगटे खड़े हुए दोस्तों पूरे जगह पे हम दोनों भाई है और यहाँ पे ना अजीब सी कौन है पंकज मत
Nope. Like why would you do that? You know? It's like the taboo piece in a horror film, right? There's always that one guy. Oh, let's go check it out.
And that's the one that get everybody killed.
Right.
So don't listen to that person, okay?
भाई यहीं पे तो थी यार यहीं पे तो थी मेरे भाई शिट यार कहाँ गई यार ये दोस्तों कसम से अब की यार भाई यहाँ पे कुछ तो देखा हमने अब हमें ये नहीं पता वो क्या चीज था भाई कुछ तो था यहाँ पे ना देख कसम से यार भाई पता नहीं भाई मेरे को क्या पता है यार तू बता ना यार तूने नहीं किया
Nah,
इतने में गायब कहाँ हो गई यार भाई
way too
क्या यार भाई
perplexing
मेरा
to
तो
be rabies.
दिमाग है ना
You know,
दिमाग हिला
Oh,
दिया
he's right there.
ओ बे
Oh, shit.
तेरे वो वहाँ पे
I didn't finish watching this.
वो
by the
बैठी
way.
हुई।
I only saw that first
ये बैठी हुई।
tidbit where
कौन है अरे पंकज पंकज पास मत जा यहाँ क्यों छुपे हो आप हेलो यहाँ छुप के क्यों बैठे हो पंकज पास मत जा पास मत जा पास मत जा पास मत जा भाई पास मत जा प्लीज यार
I mean, whoever's doing this
Passport,
has
yeah.
to have like an uncanny will and a sense of fearlessness. I mean, let's just look at the video at the beginning one more time because it's just
He's very scary.
it's a face that only a mother could love. So, yeah, so it's very disturbing. It doesn't look AI generated. To put a set of teeth or chompers on a child that small,
Yeah.
you know,
Difficult.
even if it's fake, like prosthetic teeth and stuff like that, they use the movie makeups. That looks so. I just found it really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, look
real.
at that. Look at that.
It looks kind of real.
Imagine that in your house.
Can you let me in, please? Let me in, I'm hungry.
And then you let her in, right?
Imagine
And then
that.
she goes,
I want to eat your soul. And they
He bring those teeth out.
so yeah. So this was very disturbing.
It looks like a baby Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it does. It does. But with that being said, I think that this was a really good. If it's fake, it's masterful, right? If it's real, then yeah, be on the lookout, folks.
It looks real. It looks real. Yeah, could be prosthetics. You never know. But
Right. So that's pretty much it for our segments, and we're just gonna check out what the individuals have to say.
there's a comment here from Nothing But Greatness. Good shit, guys.
Thank you so much, greatness.
We got Kid Dan again with. It says, I think that entity just try to talk to him about his car expired warranty. Could be.
It's possible.
Could be. You never know. He said, Yvette, he says, nah, creepy. It is creepy. It is. It's very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, so I generally use this as a joke, but if that's something that you as a man and you're married to a woman, you have to wake up to something like that in the morning. You need to evaluate your life.
But let me tell you something. You know, it's hard to be a man these days because if somebody knock at their door at that time, your wife is expecting you to go. You know what I mean?
No, so what would happen is that my voice would change.
Nope.
I would leave instantly, right? So yeah, or worse, you hear this. You know,
The camera knocking at the door.
I'm gonna be a coward through and through. I'm not opening the door,
No.
right? So yeah, so let's segue now into just open discussion about movies, right? And it's something I wanted to talk about, like horror films, right? Last time we spoke about They Live, and I thought They Live was a
Great movie.
great movie that depicts what's happening in today's time, right? But sometimes you don't have to be political or associated with a time, but rather associated with something that incites fear,
Exactly.
right? For me, I was with my kids and I was watching Demons by Dario Argento, right? And that little girl reminded me of the demons from the Dario Argento movie. Demons. Yeah, so true story. I was 13 years old when I saw this movie.
You were very
It's a very old movie. It was a very old movie, but I saw it with a group of friends. So we locked ourselves in a room, got a shitload of popcorn, and we all sit there and we used to go to these mom and pop video stores. I miss those, by the way. This is before Blockbuster. And you rent the movies, you go home, hey guys, I got this horror movie, and we just randomly picked them. Yeah, that's it. And basically the way these things transformed, and and the fact that everybody's locked in, this demon is infecting everyone. So there's more demons like resulting of that.
Wow.
Coming out. And basically, you should look at an image. Let me see if I can find an image and share it with people. Let me go to my scene. Okay, video share. Let's just add a... Let's look at demons.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, we got Jacob in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jacob.
Enjoy the chat, man, and the podcast. Really good over here.
So here, I got a perfect image. Let me see if I can expand this image. And let's go into OBS and share this. Let's see. You know what? We're going to do this slightly different.
There was like a mask in the movie?
Yeah, so I'll give you the background of it. I just really want people to see this image because it's not something that I would recommend anybody. So it kind of tied into that whole situation with the girl, right?
Gotcha.
So imagine looking at something like this
at night.
Yeah, just showing up and But yeah. So the premise behind the first movie is that they're giving this guy with a mask. He's giving out free tickets to watch this movie for free in this new movie theater, right? And he has his mask on. When they go to a movie theater, that mask is there as a prop for the movie. And a girl puts it on.
Okay.
Now, when they go watch the movie, the girl puts it on, and then the movie's saying that anyone who wears that becomes a demon.
Oh,
so it's like a contagion type thing.
So and everybody that wears the mask will get a...
So the first person who wears the mask becomes the demon.
Okay.
Right? But then that person can, just by scarification or just fluids, can turn everybody else into a demon.
Okay.
So when they find this out, everybody's trying to get out. The whole place is locked up. Okay. No one can get out.
Nobody can go out from the movie theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is from the sequel.
Wow.
Right? And in the sequel, they're in an apartment building, a condo complex. And basically, the premise behind the second one is really shitty, but it was just the makeup effects and the kind of like the visceral imagery.
Number 2, that's the one?
No, that's not it. So basically, anything with the word demons on it that's made by Dario Argento. That's one series, but then you have the Night of the Demons, which is a whole different story. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this one in particular turned out to be really creepy. So that's what I thought of when I saw that little girl in that video, and it was just so coincidental that when we saw that video the night before, I was watching
the movie.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where we were at with that. So that's yeah, it's been a fun-filled day watching a whole bunch of obscure and unknown and
let's go to the chats.
Creepy stuff, and let's see what the chats are saying.
Jacob says, I'm good, glad to be here. Good. And we got Corrali says, Night of the Demon is scary as F.
Yeah, so just so you know, there's 2 versions of it. It's Demons, and then there's Night of the Demons. 2 different stories, 2 different directors, both equally good, by the way. You should watch it. That's my horror movie recommendation of the week. Does it have any real impact on anything societal? Probably not, but it makes for a great story and it's fear-inducing.
Yvette says, Demons, awesome movie. So
yeah, she's seen it as well.
She saw the movie too.
So yeah, so all in all, what I would like for you guys to do now is shoot me a comment. Let me know what you would like to know about. But stick within the guidelines of the paranormal, cryptid, supernatural, conspiracy theories.
Corrali says, I think my favorite horror is the and Sleepwalkers.
Oh, both good movies.
I never seen that
Yeah,
one.
so Sleepwalkers is a Stephen King movie.
Okay.
And it's about like these feline humans.
Oh yeah. I seen that one.
So it was really good.
There's
It was-
a scene on the cemetery. They're
Right.
kind of like a cemetery. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one, The Gate, was with an actor called Steven Dorff, and it's about these kids that are like they're launching model rockets, and it ends up being that they find this record, and when they play it backwards, they open like this portal to hell, and these little demons come out, and the kids got to survive. It's one of those horror movies that's not necessarily scary more than it is like it's like watching Goonies, right? It's
Yeah.
like these kids are on an adventure, but it's just creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah. But both great movies. Both great movies. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
So we covered a lot, right?
We have covered a lot today. Oh yeah. I hope you guys like it. We do this for you guys.
So with that being said, please remember to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for next week. Also note we're going to be putting out a series of shorts using AI and a whole bunch of other cool tools, explaining some of the stuff that we covered in more detail. As we keep collecting that information, we try to compose it and put it together so that whatever we cover on the live stream, which is not as concrete, we're going to be able to present in a detailed format. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone watching, and stay tuned for next week. And we'll see you.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Be careful if Didi Cabra knocks on your door or one of these crazy kids. Okay, don't open that door. Okay, check your cameras or your surroundings.
Right on. So thank you so much, guys. We're signing off. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.